Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV Velocities and Music. Today we're going to review the new 2011 release from Tapes and Tapes, a Minnesota band, hence the Packer jersey. Got to defend the rights here. Their new album's called Outside, and from what I've heard, it's their third album, and from what I've heard, it's kind of a little bit more tame and produced, more professionally created album than the more raw works that they've done in the past. I definitely, we don't see anything wrong with that, because what we do is we take a look at the albums not in compared to past discography, but we compare the albums we review to all the music that's being released right now and in the past few years, and all the high quality releases and the crappy releases, and we kind of try to grade somewhere on that scale of whatever that is, of that curve. But this is very indie in its sound, but it's a focused and intense guitar onslaught. And something that I love, Tom, and I know that we've talked about, is just how much control that these guys show and just building these huge builds and crescendos in their songs. But their songs are only like, most of these songs, I mean, I think half of these songs are under 3 minutes long.
Yeah, which it's very impressive, the places they're able to take these songs within that very finite amount of time.
Right.
But some other things just about the sound. Everything is very crisp, especially the drums. I love the percussion.
Yeah, the production's very good.
Yeah, it's the first thing you hear on the album is this cool kind of drum, not quite, not drum sampled, but just kind of very choppy, kind of cool drum thing. And you get that kind of throughout. But yeah, the guitars are very intense. One thing I actually would have liked to see even more of, and this is like half bad, half really good, because the reason I wanted to see more of it is because it was really cool.
Right.
I just wish they would have exaggerated it. Is the dynamics and the dynamic contrast, because there's lots of cool low points and then lots of intense parts. I would have loved to see the intense parts be even more in your face, more explosive, and the low parts be even more calm. I think that contrast would have just made this thing so dramatic and awesome.
Yeah, and really the sound of this is so, it's unique, and it also takes from kind of some random artists. I get a lot of Kings of Leon, Man, and I get a lot of Deer in the Headlights too. And that's a really cool combination of sound. Obviously all guitar driven, but it shows that, you know, one thing that all three of those bands have in common is that the vocalist can drive intensity, and the Tapes and Tapes vocalist has so much talent and control, and it's just so damn fun to listen to.
And they work very well as a band on this album.
Yeah, they do.
Because while you kind of alluded to the fact that the guitar and the vocals do take center stage a lot of the time,
Right.
I notice a lot of cool, like I mentioned, drums and even bass lines.
Yeah,
the bass player has the tact to know when he needs to take a step back and when he can come forward with a cool little bass fill or something leading into another part of the song. But yeah, one thing that I want to point out is that the vocalist, good range of intensity. When he's singing very intensely, and he's really putting a lot of gruffness, I guess, if that's even a word, behind his voice, a lot of oomph, he starts to sound really grungy. It almost makes me think of like Kurt Cobain or some of the more intense Weezer tracks that are out there. So I think that's cool that he can sing very nice and pleasantly when he needs to, but then also get really intense and grungy with his voice.
Yeah, and one complaint that I do have is while I love some of the things that they're doing, especially with the restricted track lengths of you know, like between 2 and 3 minutes, and even the ones that go from 3 to 4 minutes, I mean, that's still a fairly short time frame. To have these big explosive songs where they start here and they go here, and even what Tom was saying, to take it to, like, you know, so it's even more extreme, would be even more drastic and moving. And that's definitely something this band can do going forward. But just I kind of feel like these songs just are not at a matured point. And I don't want to use the word immature, I just don't feel like they're completely fleshed out. Like, they could have done more, and kind of, if they would have just said, okay, this is, before writing the song, going, this is kind of what we got now. You know, this ditty that we're playing, I want this song, this is where we want it to go, this is the end effect of what we want to give our listeners, and then this is how we want it to fit in with the rest of the songs on the album, and then kind of shape the song from where it was to where it needed to go based on that. And I feel like that step was just kind of skipped over. They just hit record and just have some great intensity, and then they just kind of polish it up and put it on the album. I want a little bit more than that in music. I think that in this day and age, in 2011, you need to put more into that in music, in your songwriting, because just so much music's been written so far. You got to start. It's time to take it to the next level. And bands that take it to the next level, I think, are gonna do better in the long run than bands that don't. And while I love Tapes and Tapes sound, this is like, oh my god, this sound is just what I'm looking for.
The style is very good.
Making it that monumental album is kind of the next step. So, Tapes and Tapes,
and
let's do it.
They show the potential here.
Yeah.
They show the potential for sure. And I mean, this is definitely good. But I feel like if they can take this sound, harness it a little more. I mean, they already showed the control over it, but I just feel like they're not maximizing or utilizing what they can can do with it.
They do a couple cool things with time signatures in there too that I like. Tom, overall, I'm feeling like this is an upper 70s album. I'm gonna give this a 78.
I think I'm gonna give this a 73.
73, mid 70s. You know, we noted a lot of good things, and hopefully we kind of put into focus some things that we wish that Tapes and Tapes could do to make, you know, future albums in this sort of style and sound that they're going for just more just drastic and monumental for the listener to just really just be blown away by what they're doing, and they're well on the way to doing that. So keep an eye on Tapes and Tapes. This is a good band from Minnesota. You don't get a lot of bands out of the Midwest for some reason. We're working on that. We're trying to support. So tell us what you guys think. Do you like Tapes and Tapes? What are you thinking about Outside? I know fans of Tapes and Tapes are kind of a little iffy on whether or not this new kind of more mature sound, the more produced sound, is really what they wanted to see out of their band. So you know, leave us a comment at www.velocitiesinmusic.com or youtube.com/velocitiesinmusic. I'm Jake.
I'm Tom.
And we are VIMTV, Moving Music Critique Forward.